It's hard to even put a number on the amount of people this pantry has helped in the 20-plus years it's been in this community. And now all they're asking for is a little help from Extreme Home Makeover so they can help even more people. In Temecula with photojournalist Greg Miller, Kitty Alvarado, News 27. The rainy day here in Murrieta is really fitting. Sadie was such a great person and an integral part of this community, and this community is refusing to focus on the way she died. They'd rather focus on the way she chose to live her life. In Murrieta, Kitty Alvarado, News 27. Most of the fire is up behind me, where we're seeing a lot of helicopter activity. Fire trucks are coming up and down this road. There seems to be hot spots everywhere. The hot spots are really hard to pinpoint, and they flare up with this wind. A flare-up like this could reignite this whole area. Reporting from Banning, Kitty Alvarado, News 27. The 2 West building here at Inland Valley will officially open in about 2 months. It'll have 44 new beds, and with our growing community, they will get a lot of use. In Wildomar, with photojournalist Greg Miller, Kitty Alvarado, News 27. Bittersweet hugs as Sofia Briceño's mom tells her neighbor they've caught her daughter's alleged killer. After Sofia had disappeared for a few days, Anita's motherly instinct kicked in. I knew something was wrong. I had a lot of pressure in my heart. Sofia was murdered 11 years and 3 months ago and would have been 25. Anita says this news has stirred up some sad memories. She says, they've robbed me of seeing my daughter grow up and of my grandchildren. As she showed us pictures of Sofia, she says she was the happiest little girl and remembers this picture in particular, when she made a cake for her friend's anniversary, and when she came back, Sofia had already started celebrating. That's the way she always was. She was such a drama queen. She was always yelling and so happy. She loved makeup. When I asked her if she could forgive her daughter's killer, she said yes, and that in order to be forgiven, you must forgive. That's the way my mom taught me. Even if it's difficult, it's the right thing to do. And she gives this advice to every parent. Know who your children's friends are. My daughter considered these gang members her friends. She said they would help her. Instead, they murdered her. Why? Why did you murder her this way? You murdered her so savagely. That's the question she's had on her mind since her daughter Sofia was murdered. And maybe now she'll get the answer. Lots of relief from friends and neighbors, and especially a mother that has been waiting for her daughter's killer to be brought to justice. She says now she can go on with her life. In Murrieta, Kitty Alvarado, News 27. Tequila Coleman says that on June 1st, she and her 2 cousins were headed to Costco to get sodas for her sister's Sweet 16 party, but instead ended up surrounded by cops with guns drawn, yelling for them to slowly, one by one, get out of the car. Her shoes, she thought, may cost her her life.
I trip a lot, so I had these particular flip-flops on that I was afraid that if I tripped, that someone would shoot me.
And she didn't want her younger cousins to have to live with that image.
So I tried my best to walk so that I didn't fall, because I didn't want them to see me lose my life.
The 3 young women were very scared.
My cousin was so distraught on the curb. I remember hearing her say, "Please don't shoot my cousin. Please don't shoot my cousin."
But mostly confused.
Yeah, I've served in the military. I don't understand. I'm not a criminal.
She says they were let go after about 15 minutes, and the explanation they got for being treated this way, that there had been a bank robbery nearby, and the suspects were 3 black men.
All I could think of was, what does that have to do with 3 black females?
But Coleman says this happens all too often.
It's funny. We always fit the description.
And thinks that something extreme will have to happen in order for there to be change.
It would have to take someone like me dying, who served in the military, who has a good job and a good family, to die in order for someone to make a difference.
A price she would have been willing to pay.
I am willing to do that for my people, my family, my kids, my sisters, my brother, my grandmother.
In Temecula, Kitty Alvarado, News 27.
I was walking with my friends to Walmart, and I saw my friends in the car, and they stopped and they asked me and my friend, hey, you guys want to tag along? We're going to go to the beach.
He says a split-second decision saved his life, and a healthy dose of fear, courtesy of Mom, helped too.
I knew if I went and I didn't tell my mom, I'd get in trouble.
You see, he was supposed to be in this car, along with 4 students from Paris High School that were killed on their way to Senior Beach Day.
And then I found out when I went to football practice that they were dead. I couldn't believe it. I started crying.
He says he feels lucky to be alive, but now has to deal with something all too real for many survivors.
If I went, I could have said something not to drink or said not to be stupid or anything, so I really feel guilty.
But he also feels like he's here for a reason.
I'll spread a word not to drink and drive because now I know what can happen.
The 4 high school seniors died only a couple of days before graduation, and Daniel says he knows how special it would have been for his friend Pablo to wear his cap and gown.
They were happy, excited about graduating, they couldn't stop talking about it. My friend Pablo, he was going to be the first person to graduate in his family.
He says when he graduates, it'll mean a little more.
He will be in my heart when I graduate.
School officials asked the community to pray for a miracle as one of the students was in the hospital. He didn't make it. But what they don't know is that Daniel is living proof that this community already had their miracle. In Paris, Kitty Alvarado, News 27. When Jeff Massey and rock and roll dancer, a.k.a. Jim, went on their routine trail ride, they never imagined this is how the thoroughbred would be coming home. But that's exactly what happened. The horse tripped, spooked, took off running, and kept running. And Massey took action.
Chasing him downhill, trying to get him straightened out so he wouldn't just keep going to the end.
But the thoroughbred didn't stop.
He went over the rocks into the creek.
And dropped 200 feet and slid another 150. Jim was stuck in a deep, treacherous ravine in the Santa Rosa Ecological Reserve, and Massey feared the worst.
This is not going to be a good ending.
And just in the nick of time, the experts came in. They put together a team and a plan. A vet first sedated the horse just enough for it to stay calm, and then the chopper went in. Finally, some hope.
If we can get him out to where it's flat up here, get him on the ground.
Jim was calm and even seemed to enjoy the ride, and he even stuck his landing. A job well done for these heroes. 36 hours later, 2 helicopters, an animal control rescue team, a vet, and a few cowboys. But rock and roll dancer and Massey got their happy ending after all. With photojournalist Eugene Mena, Kitty Alvarado, News 27. Cuando Jeff Massey y su caballo rock and rollero, conocido más bien como Jim, fueron a pasear, nunca se imaginaron que Jim iba a regresar a casa de esta manera. Pero es exactamente lo que pasó. El caballo, pura sangre, se espantó cuando dio un mal paso y se echó a correr a toda velocidad. Massey, conociendo el peligro de estas tierras, fue tras del animal. Lo correteó por la montaña, quería enderezarlo para que no siguiera hasta el final, pero su caballo Jim, ya muy alocado, no pudo parar. Cayó sobre las rocas hasta caer en el arroyo. El caballo había caído de un barranco más de 200 pies de altura y se resbaló otros 150. Se atascó en un valle dentro de la Reserva Ecológica de Santa Rosa, muy lejos de ayuda. Pasó un día entero y Massey temía lo peor. Esto no va a terminar bien. Los expertos llegaron muy a tiempo, juntaron un equipo y construyeron un plan. Primero, el veterinario tranquilizó al caballo y después mandaron a un helicóptero. Al fin, un poco de esperanza. Si lo podemos sacar y traerlo a tierra más firme, sé que va a estar bien. El caballo estaba tan relajado que parecía gustarle el viaje. Fue un rescate perfecto. Tomó 36 horas, 2 helicópteros, un equipo de control mascota y varios vaqueros, pero el caballo rock and rollero y Massey tuvieron un fin de película. En el condado de Riverside, Kitty Alvarado, Noticiero 27.